Oi, oi, welcome to my channel, MUFC Cass. I'm trying to be big Steve, never mind. Big up to anyone that's here. I wasn't planning to do a live. I thought, I was gonna bake off tonight. I was gonna maybe play some of that new crap EA FIFA, whatever it's called. Give that a go, chill out. But I thought, you know what, I'm bored. I saw some news, and why not? Let's go and stream and talk to the people in the comments because that's my life at the moment. And just like Man United, I've got 1 week left before disaster decides it wants to come to my life. Now, if you're a United fan right now, the international break is actually quite nice, I must say. But please do like the video, do subscribe if you're new. It would be a pleasure to have you lot on board. So yeah, man, big up to anyone that's actually here. It's a Sunday. It's very, very quiet on all fronts. I haven't even seen the typical lads or ladettes go live, even dropping videos. I haven't seen none of that. And I thought, you know what? Let me go live. Let me go and talk about some of this stuff. I was going to talk about it tomorrow, maybe, or later tonight. I might do another live on here tonight, around 10 o'clock roughly. But it just depends, obviously, because I want to talk about a few things. If you don't know, Edin Terzic, I can't believe I'm saying this. Edin Terzic is the shock manager linked with Manchester United. I don't know how credible this is going to be, but I'm pretty sure yesterday somebody said that they would like some shock managers to come out the woodworks, ones that are not really spoken about a lot. And this one, I am totally not in favor of this one. I seriously don't want this guy at Man United. I don't think he's that good of a coach. I think he's living off a Champions League final that he was never going to win. I'm not in favor of his tactics. I'm not in favor of his selections. And I don't think he improves players too much. His build-up is slow and lethargic for my liking. And you know what? I wouldn't even call that too dissimilar from the way Ten Hag wants to play in an attacking, the attacking forefront anyways. But big up to everyone that's in here. Hope you're doing well as well. Let me see who's in there. Big up Philip Bidwell says, big up Cass. You are a mug. That's what you are. Mac Daddy. Jack Mannion, Terzic, why can't INEOS do anything right? These are just some of the names as well. I saw another one as well. Look, he got outplayed by Graham Potter. I believe that was at Stamford Bridge. Adeyemi, I think he scored that great goal. And I think Chelsea done all right against them as well. That was actually such a boring game. I can tell you all different ways that this guy likes to play. What I don't really like about this guy's build-up is it's too much. Some people like it in favor of Brighton. He reminds me of a Brighton manager slightly. The way Graham Potter used to build up in play, and it's so similar as well when in build up with Graham Potter. And it's when you've got, he plays a 4-2-3-1, right? And that's pretty much the bog standard these days, 4-2-3-1. And it's come about. It used to be that formation about 10-ish years ago, before the 4-3-3 started coming more in favor for a lot of teams, until the build-up process started coming into play. Then that's why they like 2 6s or /6/8. And what I don't like about this guy's tactics and build-up is he's always got he's got his single pivot in his build-up play, and he's got it between the 2 centre-backs, so he can have his 2 full-backs going further up. But the 8s that he has is pretty much occupying half spaces. Half space, aka where De Bruyne likes to whip the ball in, if people don't know what a half space is. And through that, they will link up with the fullback. But the issue with this was with this anyways, because obviously wingers tuck inside, occupy the what's it called, the centre backs, while your target man's just doing target man things. What I don't like about it is something that United's been exposed with more than more than recent is the counter attack. So when you get counters, if anyone saw Dortmund's 2 of his spells at Dortmund, by the way, because he had 1 stint back in 2020, if I remember correctly. And he also had his other stint as well, which was recent for the last couple of years, and he left. I think he was going to get rid of him regardless of the Champions League final, but they will always expose the counter-attack. He's known to bottle the league as well, which is not that great. And if you want to call him a project manager, I'd like to see, I can give you names about some of the youth players he didn't really develop. Adeyemi, he's having a season of his life at the moment. I know, granted, he's 21, 22, but he didn't get the best out of him. And it was more than just that as well. Is ineptability to even manage some of these egos. You got legends like Royce that he didn't manage, and fans blame why, like fans blame Royce retiring from Dortmund is because of him as well. Matt not getting his minutes. Sancho's stepdad. You're a madman with that part. There's a lot to even talk about with this guy though. But yeah, like you can name some of the other young bucks that's also at Dortmund at the time, and he didn't really get the best out of them. And that the only one he really got the better out of is probably was it Jude Smellingham, but he was always inevitable, wasn't he? You know, he was always going to kill it in that league. I'm just not in favor of this guy. I don't like the way he builds up. Well, his build up's not too sad, but everything else going forward looks a little bit lost, a little bit lethargic, and I'm not in favor. And I don't think United's got the players to play the way he wants, especially when you've got Casemiro and stuff. Don't get me wrong, Kobe in a half space, perfect. He was always going to thrive in a half space. I like Kobe when he's on the left half space, a bit like what Man United fans wanted with Pogba. He didn't develop Bino Gittins. Yeah, that's another one who's also having a good season, by the way, I must say. What manager is it? It's the Dortmund manager, the ex-Dortmund manager. But yeah, 33 likes on the video. Please smash the likes. 90 people in the house, nice and early as well. For me, anyways, I'm taking it as I'm actually quite shocked. I was going to ask you a bit of a question about thumbnails and etc. And I need you guys' opinions more than ever as it goes. Because don't get me wrong, we have to pose for the thumbnails. Where it's like, or whatever you want to do, right? And you keep overusing the same images over and over again. And I wanted to ask you what you like, because for me, I don't mind keeping things fresh, changing like different. Every thumbnail have a different image. But for you guys, do you actually care about that, or do you not care about that? Like, of course, a thumbnail has to be the one which a subscriber or a potential one clicks on to hopefully go on your video. But do you like fresh images, or do you don't really care and just use the old images? It doesn't really bother you. Like, I really need, if I can get some feedback off of that, that would be actually very interesting. Big up KM. As an interim option, I'm cool with, as long as he can get the results. However, the long-term manager I'll be more picky with. I can't see it being interim. At this rate, I'm not too sure INEOS actually likes an interim. I think it's quite obvious that I feel like INEOS are sounding out. Wait, what? I saw that, yeah. I feel like they're sounding out different managers, and they are working on getting a long-term appointment, because if they wanted a short-term, I reckon they would have sacked Ten Hag. I don't think, excuse me, that they're not in favor of Rude being interim. I don't think they want to do that. I think they're doing all their background work now. Remember, this is just a thought, because I'm seeing all different names, and it could just be media, right? It could be any sort of journal and whatnot, and they're just trying to, latch on to what we would call crap stories so they can get their clicks. But I'm in belief that they are in a search, and they're probably going to try find well, when it comes to all these managers, they're going to try find the one that's going to cost them the least at this point. Use a shocked look with your hands on your face. I know that, but I'm saying, do I always want to? I'm asking you guys, obviously, because I want to know if you lot prefer different images on different thumbnails. Does it get boring seeing the same images on the thumbnails? Like, do you like it when it's fresh? Obviously, fresh is good, but I'm just wondering if you lot care. Big up Hannah in the building. Like and subscribed. I love that. That's a mad name, by the way. I must admit, can't give that too much airtime. You prefer different images, all right? Because I've literally ordered some Man United, jumpers, isn't it? Because I want to suit a look. I want to be like the rest of the crew. I want to be branded up, and they're actually quite nice jumpers. And I got my dad a little top as well for the club that he supports. Big up. It defo gets boring. Okay, so you just want fresh. All right, cool. I know that's a little bit off topic from what we're talking about. So yeah, man. I just want. By the way, I'm not funding INEOS. I'm not funding Glazers. I get my stuff off anywhere else. Trust me. Like, if you lot want a link to where I get my stuff, just let me know and I'll send it. Just message me on Instagram or whatever, and I'll just give you the link. It's actually dope. So quality's sick. I've washed it. I washed even this top right here. I've got about 10 different old United tops that I get it from, cheap as well. Doesn't peel off. It looks real as crap. So there you go, man. Just let me know. But I'm not in favor of this manager anyways. Either way, he's garbage. He's not the guy. He will get sacked at some point. I don't. You know what I do like about him though, which I'll give the positives on him, is his personality. He's a bit emotional and he's very animated, and I like that. But I don't think that's enough. You can be an emotional manager, but your tactics is what's going to get us from from literally right now. Man United we're not even B or C. We're in, dare I say, D. We're getting the D. That's what we're getting. We're getting D down at the moment. We're in 14th. We need to go from D to B ASAP. B is being around the 6th place, and that's not even a standard. We got to remind ourselves of standards at Manchester United. And you know what? You have to be realistic at some time. We're not going to be in the A category. The A category being Arsenal, of course, Manchester City, and at this moment of time, Liverpool, where you look like Chelsea looks like they're trying going into that A category right now. We're in D. We're in Cat D. Crazy. If anyone's been in prison, you know what Cat D and all. I'm talking about types of different scenarios where you can be put in prison. Not saying I've been there, but you just know about it. Cass, are you Team Lee or Team Hussam? I have no idea what you're talking about, by the way. I don't know what you're talking about, but whatever has happened, I'm not involved. I'm in my own lane. I'm kind of liking what we're doing at Never a Foul. If people don't know, I run another channel with Daps and Wants, and I'm just staying in my lane. But I'll tell you one thing for free. I will always be Team Lee over them lot. There you go. So I don't care if he's in the wrong. I'm still Team Lee. So is what it is. I made peace with the fact that Ten Hag is staying. I'll start caring when he gets sacked. I big up Catch. We're going on FIFA after this. I'm bored. If you're down, anyways. So yeah, man. Whatever's happening, that's their stuff. I don't care. I'm in my lane. I'm trying to do my things. People can see Catch in there as well. Gonna try run up some Twitch stuff as well at some point. So yeah, man. Why don't they go for Graham Potter as a stopgap manager? Would be a great appointment, in my opinion. He was misjudged at Chelsea. I'm in agreement with you. See, I'm in agreement. A lot of people won't agree with me on this point, but I don't mind the appointment of Graham Potter. I like what he did at Brighton. You know, I do think he's been misjudged at Chelsea. I don't think he was given the players he was given a pre-season. And don't get me wrong, the only thing I don't like about Graham Potter though is the way he handled the media. I think he sucked. So in handling the media, I'm not in favor of that. He looks like the players ran over him, but that could have been a learning curve. But I wouldn't be thrilled about it, but I wouldn't be annoyed about it, if that makes sense. If it gets me to B and he can't carry us any further and he's keeping us around a place I'm not really too fond with, then so be it. You have to be realistic with our expectations, because there's no manager we can really say, right, that's going to take us to the glory days again. It's unknown. If anyone's going to take us to a glory days, it's going to be an unknown manager that's trying to earn his rep. He will earn that rep. It's a bit like Arteta trying to earn his rep right now at Arsenal, going into the elite category after he wins a Prem or Champions League, if he ever does anyways. So we have to look here like that. You have to earn your stripes. A bit like, what's his name as well? Slot right now. All of a sudden, in the title race, he's earning his stripes. He's going to earn that name in football where he gets the big name. And if he ever leaves, he'll get the top jobs. And that's the situation we put ourselves in right now. It's heartbreaking seeing us in the 14th, and worse than last season. The players need to turn it up and play for us fans and a badge. The standard's gone out the window since Alex. It's not just the players, though. It's the manager, mate. How about getting some of the names on the team sheet in the correct balance and stop flipping, like leaving us out there to dry? Now he's gone back to being reserved. Aston Villa played reserve, got a 0-0. Probably should have won that game. You know, the game before, reserved against Porto. Well, expansive. But then he didn't play. He played compact, but it wasn't good enough. Again, players, you can blame some of the players there, but you're 2-0 up. Why didn't you change the situation there? You're 2-0 up. You know the other team are going to come at you for the next 10 minutes. You got to be aware of this situation. Idiot. I'll call that an idiot. That's idiotic. And you know what I need to also call out, yeah, is Mark Goldbridge. Like, I'm not going to come on here and slander him. I think maybe some of you might watch him, right? And I don't care if he's your favorite content creator, United content creator, but I just think it's quite ironic when he talks about whoever the new manager is, if they are, I'm like, or surrounding a new manager. He doesn't like the PR surrounding a new manager. It shouldn't be the case, right? This is what he said in his life, Mr. Brent. And he will never know me, and this video will never travel to him. And I don't give a flip. I don't care. If he wants to say my name, I get more publicity. I don't give a crap. But on that notice, when he's talking about PR, but he's the one that's been doing Ten Hag PR insanely up his batty hole. He's been insane brown nosing that motherfucker. It's just, for me, it's like, how dare you talk about PR surrounding a manager or whoever the new manager may be when you do the same thing for Ten Hag and even being accused of it? Come on, man. Have some decorum and just own up. Just own up. He just keeps contradicting himself, which probably gets him his views, his clicks, etc., etc. But oh my word, this guy loves contradicting himself on so many different things. And I'll call him out again. It's funny, isn't it, when it comes to a certain demographic of player, he'll favour one, but not really the other. And I don't think that gets spoken about enough either. And it literally clouds judgment. De Gea, Onana, dare I say, Luke Shaw, dare I say. I don't even want to get into it, but he's not. This show isn't about him. Really and truly, I was just talking about Edin Terzic. He's literally, might as well call him Edin Terzic at this rate because he's not good enough. He's garbage. And I don't want him. I'd rather Graham Potter over him all day long. All day long. So there you go. Goldbridge has shares in AFTV according to the newscast. I tell you for free, him and Robbie hate each other. That is not happening. Flex don't like him. They're falling out. He ain't got no shares. Don't believe it. As you know what Donald Trump might say, fake news. Like, you know what I mean? So that's not my business. He can do whatever he wants. What's the likes on people as well? Let me know. We're on 68 likes. Big up for the support recently as well. If you haven't subscribed, there's a good chance, just to remind you. But just to remind anyone that this might go past, this little poll, there you go, like the video. But bar him, we don't know what the manager situation is. I think, again, we're going to get stories from Monday pretty much to Friday, linking us with all new managers, names that we probably wouldn't even utter to anybody. Because at the end of the day, when we play Brentford, the lead up and build up to that is going to be all surrounding. If Ten Hag loses that game, that borrowed time is spent. And he's going to lose his job. And then it's going to be the new manager. And again, how long will Manchester United take to get in a new manager? That's the key part. Because I've said it on this, I think I've said it twice on 2 different out of the 6 shows previously about INEOS moving too slow. And if they can't make a decision, it's crazy. I think everything right now, if you want my opinion, I think it's leading to Tuchel. I don't believe Tuchel's actually in for the England job. I see Lee Carsley doesn't want the job as well from Matt Law, who come out about it. I think it's all pointing towards Tuchel. And he's sounding out Man United to hurry up and make a decision. And it's his team that's wanting that job. And you know what? At this rate, it's just like, I'm so bored of this. It's just like, give him the job. Go give him the job. Big up Letty in the building. Goldbridge is a fish. Big up Scott in the building. His 4-2-3-1 mid block is solid in defense. He sets his team up really well. I disagree. I don't like his mid block. I think it's crap. It's lethargic and it's pragmatic. It's like, do you remember if anyone remembers Louis van Gaal's teams, he used to play obviously he played 3 at the back at times before he switched to a 4-3-3. It was possession, but there's not much with the possession. And sometimes you might get goals. You kind of do look a little bit solid, but you're still prone in certain areas. I hate it. I don't like it. It's a scam. His way of playing is a scam for me. Crap. But yeah, Cash, you guys need to find a Maresca type of manager who can do his job and work together the ball with no time frame. Mate, that's like trying to find a pot of gold, mate. It's not happening. Like, that's just literally the draw. What they call it, that? Luck of the draw? Luck of the draw. There you go. You don't find that. If Chelsea's really found their guy, we'll know within a good year. We'll actually know I think we'll know in November even. Or by next season, we'll know about that. Luck of the draw, pick out the hat. It's not as simple as that. You can have whatever structure you want. I'm going to be honest. You can have a good bunch of players. But if you're not tactically there, there's not really many top managers out there. Realistically, we hype up people that have done a good job at a decent club. And we put them on a pedestal like they're Ancelotti. That's the reality of football today. There's not a lot of names. And the one that's king in it is Pep Guardiola. And everyone is minions. The only one that can beat Guardiola these days is probably Ancelotti in a knockout game. That's who's really got his number, mainly. That's it. Nobody else. No one. So someone's going to have to make their name. And I don't know who it is. Could it be Maresca? It could be. He's a young manager. What age did he say was that? 46? Something like that? 46? Our attacking setup was wrong versus Villa, not positioning them correctly in space to take the shots. I think it's a bit of both. You can't always blame everything on the manager. McKenna, I'm very willing to give McKenna that job. I was so against it before. And big up, what's his name? People might know him. Griggs, Mike Griggs. He was calling for McKenna, and we was having a mad back and forth on Saeed's channel, and I was really, really against it. But for that, now I can see maybe Chelsea. Like, we always talk about Arsenal being that model. You know, you got to give it a project, give them time, give them players, and yada yada yada. But I think Chelsea's kind of just shown in maybe the modern football. I think Arsenal could be pioneer for that, the pioneers, but let a coach be a coach. Obviously, I think Arteta does more than just be a coach. I think he actually manages a big institution like Arsenal, where Maresca is literally just being a coach, and that's in favor of structures. Structures want the managers not to get out of their lane, not too power hungry. We do what we do. You go manage on a pitch, and you know what? That's probably the situation where what Tuchel wants. He wanted that at Chelsea. He didn't want to manage. That's where Chelsea went wrong in their first couple of years, and they adapted. And now look here, it's thriving at the moment, and they got absolute ballers in capacity. I don't like Emery. That's a no from me. I'm definitely not getting those Zidane. That's for free. Has he been sacked? Unfortunately, not, my friend. Unfortunately, not. We should be playing our strongest team. Ten Hag saying rotation all the time. Bollocks. We've got 5 players out about rotation. That ain't stopped nothing. The problem is massive rebuild, and obviously Ten Hag's not up to it. How can we rebuild the rebuild? I've had enough. I don't know if any of you are in that situation, but I'm sick of that word. I'm so sick of it. How are we rebuilding the rebuild? Don't get me wrong. INEOS have come in. They're rebuilding the club structure. I still think like the players there, it's a good enough team to move forward. Yes, it's not the greatest whatsoever, but the squad is not that bad. You can't rebuild the rebuild. That's how many times have we said as United fans that we're going for a rebuild right now? And we've never built nothing. But I think the closest we've been to a rebuild was Mourinho. That's the closest we've been there. And there was that summer where he wanted a few different players. And I remember he wanted Martial out, Pogba out. At some point, he fell out and he wanted a certain players. And we never backed him. And probably good thing that we didn't. But in this way, Mourinho's football was diabolical. But he was getting us results. And we didn't mind if you're winning. We don't care, right? So on that notice, that's the closest we've been there for a rebuild after that Europa League season. Didn't happen in the end. It went Pete Tong. It was garbage. Maybe Louis van Gaal never had a chance to build anything. They gave him Schweinsteiger, who had no legs. He said himself. Ten Hag he's spent the most money in the last since Fergie's retired. I mean, we're going to give him another 200 million to rebuild the rebuild that he chose. He chose these players. I'm not here to just be negative on Ten Hag and the club too much, because it's just a repeat of everything I've been saying in the last 2-3 weeks. So it does get boring. I think we have the players. I think we need more players, and more players need to go. Don't get me wrong. That's what you call that process, as what that bald manager with a dipped cranium says. Yeah, rotation's the PR answer for me, 100%. Yeah, tactics. Yeah, give it Giggsy. Well, I don't know about that one. Inzaghi or Xabi Alonso would be a statement. Not happening. Inzaghi don't even know English. Xabi Alonso, I don't think he has interest in Man United. He's got if he's gonna get a job, it's gonna be unfortunately a club that's more successful right now, whether it's Real Madrid or City. So there you go. Rude, I don't know about him. I'll take him as interim though, but I'm not sure about full time. I'm so anti Dutch managers right now. I've had enough. I'm not a fan of Xavi, Vatica. I'm definitely not. You need to sell Bruno, sack Ten Hag, and try to keep. Well, I was going to talk about that. It's a little good segue as it goes. From what I was seeing on Bruno's comments, I found that quite interesting. And he come out with these comments yesterday, and it makes me wonder again about this relationship he has with Ten Hag. And I branded it fake news the other day, but there might have been some truth to it. As I did mention again, you can't really call it complete fake, but at the same time, there could be some truths. So this is exactly what he said. I don't know if you lot caught it, so I'm going to remind you. I'm not going to share the screen. I hate when I share the screen. It looks crap. I'd rather just say it. I need to make an overlay and stuff where it looks nice. Put myself in a box, yada, yada, yada. All that boring stuff. He said this yesterday. So he had a really good game against Poland. He did miss a sitter, but he had a good game. Him and Ronaldo linked up quite well. And Poland's not a scrub of a team. He said this: it's a space where I feel good and I feel like I can enjoy my football at a very high level due to the dynamics we have and the quality I have at my side. Key words there. Tonight, obviously, he was the man of the match of that. He was the man of the match of that show. But them comments there made me think, bruh, I think that's a little dig at United. I think that is a dig at United. Well, Ten Hag, he said, talking about the space where he operates best in, right? For one, he said enjoying his football at a very high level. I feel like I can enjoy my football at a very high level. So he said, I think he's talking about the standards, and then obviously the dynamics, which is relationships and whatnot within the players, the dressing room, and the quality. Now, I don't know if I'm looking little bit into that, but you don't say all of that stuff if you're not really trying to send a message. What do you guys make of that? I want Amorim as well. I'm taking Amorim. Him or Thomas Frank, I think is the top of my list. I'm not joking. One can hope. But with United, with the whole PSR stuff, I think it's too much of a gamble for next summer, if you lot don't know. And to pay out for these managers to get them in, even if it is Thomas Frank, it's going to cost a certain bit of money. And if the gamble doesn't pay off, United are in a worse financial position. And that's where the Glazers have got us over the last few years. No, few years. 15. No, actually, mate, wait. Make that 19. No, dead the Frank talk. No, I'm a fan of Frank, man. I think some of you look at him as a Brentford and say, look, he's at Brentford. He's not good enough. You know, he plays this style, that style, whatever you say. I think you are judging him based on the club he's currently at. Now, I think someone just said this, right? About who said it? Someone said it in this chat right there about Maresca. I mean, to go find like another Maresca. Maresca came from Leicester. Leicester didn't even play that great last year in the Championship, and now he's there, being the manager, coach, however you want to label it, and he's thriving with obviously a good backing. I don't even think he actually got a lot of his players in that he would probably like. You know, they got Sancho, don't get on cheap. He got Tosin on a free. They didn't get a mad amount of Vega. They didn't get a mad amounts in. And look what he's doing with the squad. He's getting the best out of Enzo. He's getting the best out of Caicedo. Jackson looks absolutely on fire. Sancho's back to his best. Madueke is actually playing quite well, except that he's just greedy. So on that notice, we got to take chance on these managers, no, because there's not a name out there. I think we got to be we got to chance these things. And he's obviously Premier League proven, as lots will say. And he knows the league. He knows what a team needs to thrive in a league. And he's not a dunce. He actually favors the midfield. He likes control in some ways, but he also likes being direct. One thing I hate, and I would just not want to take away from Man United, is the way United have been over the years is direct. And that's what I'm used to under Ferguson. So I want that to be the situation again, whoever the new manager comes in. Possession is nice, but be direct. Get some good wingers in. We're used to that. Get a controlling midfielder in. Used to that. Whether it's Carrick or Scholes or even Keane. Get with that and get with the program. That's the way I look at it. I think Frank's a good manager. And I wasn't in favor before, but after you kind of look into it, look the way he's played over the last few years, how he's adapted, even Brentford on a financial scale don't even back him as much as a Premier League manager should. Like, look at Bournemouth, for instance. Look at Everton. Look at how much they pump into the team. And look how he's adapted. United need someone like that and someone that actually can command respect. I don't think he's a dickhead. You know, but I think he is salty, though. He's very, very salty. But a lot of managers are. So if he wants to be sly, let him do it. Sounds like you want sorry. Well, you are a horrendous, horrendous viewer. You know that, Jack. You actually follow me around to give me abuse everywhere. Not obviously proper abuse, but you love this, don't you? You're lucky you support Chelsea. I don't mind Chelsea. You love United. He plays decent football. Yeah, big up Benz. Walaikum salam, my guy. Marco Rose. I saw that was another name as well. Marco Rose was another one that was linked. I don't mind him either. I don't know what you lot make on Marco Rose, but he definitely is very decent. He's the what's it called as well? He's the Leipzig manager, isn't he? He was at Salzburg beforehand. And you know what? They're cooking at the moment. I don't know if he suits what INEOS want. That's my only reservations about it. But if he's a guy that's a name in the hat, I'm taking him for sure. Let me read this out for you. He says, focusing on ball recovery and rapid attacking play. That's what you call great structure in Red Bull. So all their teams filter around. So when they want to promote a manager, it's easy. They go into it and they adapt. A bit like Brighton. His team often utilize positional fluidity, allowing players to interchange in roles. Yeah, I think it is good. You know, if you want to play a high pressing system for sure, be a little bit more direct, then he probably is the guy to go for. Leipzig are smashing it in the Bundesliga at the moment. What's wrong with Sarri? I think, you know, when some managers for me are just outdated, they're finished, they're done. You know, like it's like give it up. I think your time's coming to an end. I think you should stay in your comfort zone. I think Sarri's one of them. I don't think he commands a level at a high enough job, a top level club, even in Italy. I don't think he's going to be around there. You know, the Napolis, the Lazios, that's his lane. I think he should just stay in them lanes. I don't think he knows how to manage players very well over in England. Even just the culture itself, it doesn't look like he's suited to it. Bournemouth manager Iriola, I think there's a good shout there. Again, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't say no to it. I like Frank, but that was last summer. Plus, he's 51. That's a good thing, though. No, that's a young manager. 51's a great age. Don't you think? Are we rating managers based on their age now? I can understand if they're about 67, like Gasparini or someone like that from Atalanta. But yeah, 51's a good age, especially when you want to build a project. You got a good 5 years on them. Then yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, look, Bruno sends a massive message, and we have to see what comes out of that. Maybe I'm looking into it. We can look into it a little bit. But yeah, big up to everyone that's in the house as well. We're on 129 likes. Any new subscribers, big up as well. Please consider, if you don't like the content and you switch off, then fair enough. I'm not gonna force you lot to stay around. But there's nearly 300 people in the house, which I did not expect. So big up to yourselves. De Zerbi's still the manager I want. I don't think we'll get him. He's got a good thing going over at Marseille in a good situation with a good bunch of players. If they get Pogba, which I doubt, then that lifts them. If they could be the team that lifts, well, not lifts, but lifts Marseille back to the glory days and pip PSG to that, to that title, then boy, that's massive in football, man. I think PSG need to get knocked off their perch, anyways. I've had enough of Luis Enrique ball. He bores me to death. I'm not being fooled by Luis Enrique. That's a manager that I wouldn't take at United. Nah. I don't like Luis Enrique. His football bores me to death. He's living off a reputation that Barcelona gave him, which I feel like he had MSN. I don't care what anyone tells me. Anyone succeeding with that team and that lineup. He plays some nice ball, but Messi doesn't exist anymore. Suarez is pretty much finishing into Miami, and Neymar, we don't even know if he's coming back to football. The guy's too busy in boxing rings. Nah, not Xavi. Not Xavi, not for me. Xavi ball boring for me. I don't think it suits the league either. You know, I can see Xavi maybe being let's say Pep leaves and they go get Michel from Girona. Michel, obviously, I think he wants to. He's doing good things over there, and I think he'd want to stay. But if he was to be the one that takes over, because obviously City Group have their multi-club model, right? Michel goes over to Man City, takes that step above. He's in the Champions League with Girona, and they're putting up a good fight. So imagine if Pep was to leave and they get him, I can see Xavi maybe being the next manager of Girona. It's not like he has to move far. It's quite close, Catalan, all of that. So I think that might be the case. Don't you lot are just saying names now just to just try to get on my nerves. You know who? Let me ask you lot a question. What do you lot make out of the ex-Leeds manager? He manages Uruguay at the moment. Bielsa. Would you take him? Would anyone take Bielsa at their club? Potter. I would take Potter personally. I would. One of the last choices, if the case. I would take a chance on him for sure. Yeah. No. He can't speak English, but it gets translated, you know? Imagine Bielsa. I've got tears thinking about this. Imagine Bielsa, yeah, like how he used to use Calvin Phillips. Imagine he used Casemiro in that role. It'd be so similar to what Ten Hag was doing last year. That would be funny. We'd concede so many goals. It wouldn't be funny. It would be pain. No plan B at all. Yeah, no plan B. Just on the final part though, if you want some injury updates for Man United, Mazraoui is going to be returning pretty much, I would say, at the start of November. So that's some good news there. Lenny Yoro is going to be returning next month as well at some point. I don't think early, but he will be returning at some point in November. Luke Shaw could be on the cards against Brentford this week. He could be on the bench. Malacia is coming. I think it says here as well. I saw a report about this yesterday. Malacia's return looking likely by in the next week or so. He's training on grass. He's been doing it for a while. He's been in the gym. He'll be back in first team training as well. Garnacho could be back against Brentford. And the reason why Ahmad didn't feature or hasn't featured is because he actually picked up a knock, which he recovered. Well, he was carrying a knock, went to Ivory Coast, got recalled, didn't get selected, and he should be back against Brentford as well. So there's some decent injury update news. It's about time. You know, Masraoui being out, it might be a good time for Luke Shaw to come into the fold if he can stay fit. Malacia is going to definitely want some minutes. We've got some cup games coming up, Leicester City, which could be the game which he returns. Hopefully, maybe even for Luke Shaw as well. And then, yeah, then there's some news there. And by the time then, we got to hope and pray that there's a new manager. Because it doesn't matter who comes back, does it? We're suffering regardless. What's the likes? Can we get... this would be sick if we get this to 200 likes. It would be so sick. I'm going to try running this a little bit further because I need my watch time to go up. So I need to do another 8 minutes. So if you've got any questions or anything that you want my thoughts on, please do also in the comments. The more watch time, the quicker I get monetized, the quicker I can get some supers and I can live my life a little bit better. There you go. Shaw is a disgrace because he should have stayed at home and not go to the Euros. Yeah, I thought that as well. That's bizarre. Did he even feature? I don't even know if he featured. That's shameless. Always fit for England, isn't it, pretty much? Shaw is another one that needs to go next season. And you know what? If Ratcliffe sticks to his... Excuse me, that Lucasade's got me burping. If Ratcliffe is a true man to his word, remember before the FA Cup final, before he pulled his hammy and all this stuff and he was questioning it, now you got to be looking at that thinking, that's just not sustainable and it's not good for business. Get rid of him if you can. Even if it's on a cheap 10 million, go back to Southampton. I think the thing is, he's still a very, very good player. And that's the frustrating part. He's still one of the better left backs when fit. But availability is the best ability, as they say. He's horrendous. Big up Chris Evans. Who's Chris Evans? Me. Chris Evans is a good-looking guy, bro. I'll take that. Cheers. It's a joke. We let go. See, this is I said this the other day. Was the other stream. Like, we just got rid of Alvaro Fernandes. I'm not too sure what it was for Benfica. And he's got all the tools. Like, he's got the build, you know, he's got the pace, he's got the physicality, and he's still growing, right? And we didn't really give him a chance in pre-season. And what I'll say there is just like, and now we're looking at to potentially bring him back on a buyback clause. But I don't think he should come back on a buyback clause. Not when Ten Hag's in charge anyways. Obviously, January is January. But he didn't give him a chance. Harry Amas is not physically ready for the Prem. Technically, Harry Amas is sick. But this is where we can't get too, you know, invested into the youth so much that look good in pre-season because you've got to look at it. He'll get bullied. If Adama Traore come up against Harry Amas, that guy's getting bodied. Well, you can't trigger it until January, so it's going to be some time before that's even allowed. I think it's a good option, especially if you're keeping track of him and if he wants to come back. The thing is, would he want to come back? Double A, at least we got options to buy with some of the young players we've let go. Yeah. And look at Kamawala. He's gone to Villarreal, and look how good he's looking already. Again, not saying we need him, but getting rid of him for the amount that we did was like 9 million. It's not that sad. It can show that you can sell. You got to get something going. But, you know, at this rate, you kind of needed that option maybe. But it wouldn't have been good for his development because he wouldn't have got game time, especially if Euro comes in and you're meant to be the young centre-back. You're meant to be the best next thing, right? Or next best thing, should I say? So I think I said best next thing. Anyway, regardless. And you're looking at a young buck coming in and taking your spot. You're going to want to leave. I know, Kirkes is one from Bournemouth. But he reminds me of a wing back. He don't remind me of a left back. He's tiny as well. And we've got Lisandro Martinez. How are we going to get a left back that's smaller than our centre back? That don't bode well for me. I want Robinson. That's the left back I want. I would love Robinson. I would really like. We need athleticism at United, like proper athletes. Naturally athletic. Shall I say? Better words. I think Brantwaite comes next. I think Brantwaite comes next season. I think Lissandro. Right now, we're in a. I think we're stuck in a bit of a rock and a hard place with Lissandro Martinez. He hasn't been the greatest. He hasn't exactly been the greatest recently. I think physically he's declined a little bit, and he's not gotten to the grips of things. Especially being in a Prem, it's not easy, is it? The intensity and whatnot. And maybe it is a manager that's making them all look bad as well at the same time, which I'll throw into the hat. I don't think it's favouring him. But we saw Lissandro in more of a low block, mid block in his first season, which we loved. Aggression, he's getting up in the air, passes was fantastic. Then he got the name The Butcher, right? Come off of a World Cup, got these claps and applause. We love Lissandro. We like it's about time we find a player that wants to what's it called? Show passion and desire, and aggression all at the same time. We think that's what it means for the badge, all of that. But at this point in time, he's not being one of our better performing centre backs. And you got to look at things where Euro is the future. De Ligt as well is still quite a good player, in my opinion. I don't think he's really put a foot wrong, other than getting absolutely dominated in the air by a Marodion. You got to look at Brantwaite, and De Ligt could be the future partnership, or with Euro and Brantwaite. He's got a big season upcoming before he gets recognised, maybe on the bench. But everyone gets time. Everyone gets the same way because Delo's not really been up to scratch, but he's been playing out of position. I don't want to judge him. Mazraoui looks really good. Again, I don't think he's in a system that's favouring him or how we can utilise him. Same thing for our midfield. Same thing with up top. So again, we'll have to see, anyways, man. We'll have to see, and I don't think we should be judging a lot of these United players while they're in a failing project, as we call it. The young lad from Arsenal who got his 16, he's smashing it in training, looks quality. Yeah, but let them develop. We can't just slap them. We can't be relying on 18-year-olds like Lenny Euro or 16-year-olds, a 16-year-old like Cheeto. Like, just get some experience. It's when you're good enough, you'll play, you'll get your chance. Under Ten Hag, I don't think so. But with Cheeto, I've seen a lot of hype. I've never really seen so much PR surrounding a 16-year-old Bart Endrick. I don't even think Endrick got all this attention. We don't know nothing really about this guy from Arsenal. Let's be real with ourselves. We just know he's a tall lad. He buried Liverpool like 10 goals or something like that. And he's mustard. So again, we can't be. I don't think we get to see someone like Cheeto for the next 2-3 years. Same thing with that Kone guy. He's just come. Is his name Kone? The Senegalese youngster. He looks really good. Sentiment's a bit different to striker. You might see him feature next year or get some minutes at the end of the season, maybe. But he's got to settle into England and get going, And we can't, again, we should, as a United, as a big club, even the Chelsea fans will probably agree. Arsenal fans, look what they're doing with Nwaneri. He's really young. He's 17, but look at the way they're using him. Not putting him to pressured situations just as yet. He's good, though. He's really good, but gradually, slowly. A bit like how Foden was integrated into the team by Pep. Rico Lewis is another one as well. Young, very young, coming into the squad. You got to integrate them slowly. They can't just come in and hopefully they save the day. That's what we was hoping on Mason Greenwood. When he was, dare I say his name anyways, but when he came through the ranks. Can't be relying on youngers. We've done it with Adnan Januzaj when he was young as well, back in 2013 under David Moyes. How many times have we relied? We're relying on Cobby's 19 now, to carry us. That should not be the way of a top club. We need, these senior players got to step up and be good enough and help these players and manage them. Because now we're in a situation of rotation. But rotation is very key for the minutes. Otherwise, all the new doctors that have come into United, the one from Arsenal, physios and stuff, I'm pretty sure the whole new medical team that United put together are pretty much putting reports saying you've put too much minutes into these guys' legs. Like, if you carry on the way they're going, they're gonna burn out. And I believe we've done that to. I know a lot of people are not in favor of him, but I think we've done that to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford at his big age, yeah. I know he's 26, 27. You could even say from a couple years ago, the guy's lost a couple yards of pace. He's lost that a little bit of electricity in his game. No matter how hard he trains and that, he's lost that little bit. And I think it's because we've overused him and ran him into the ground. I saw the Eze links. Now, that's interesting. I was going to talk about that. And I thought, do I put the title on? I thought, you know what? I might dismiss it. But then I literally just saw it about 10 minutes ago as I was just typing along. It's from Fabrizio Romano saying, so Eze's, so we know Brexit means Brexit with, what's it called, the INEOS regime, and they want a British core. For me, I think Eze's super overrated, by the way, and I don't know if he goes into a top club and shines, and under somewhere where it's failing at United, even less so. And maybe he needs to play with better players. Who knows? But I think he's a very good player. Overrated doesn't mean crap, by the way. Let's just overrated just means he's being put on a pedestal. I don't think he's at a good age. And that would I take Eze all day long? For the price that they want all up front, I'm not too sure. But if he's going to be an option to take that 10 spot, because they meant, because Fabrizio Romano mentioned this as a winger role. And we all know Eze plays left wing. So that makes me wonder what they're thinking at United. Like, you got Bruno, you got Mount. They're the 10s, right? At the moment. 10s, 8s, that attacking spot position right there. Then you look at Garnacho and Rashford. And I'm thinking, so we've been scouting this guy and watching him and keeping him in close. So it's concrete. It's not stupid links. And Eze coming in for that left wing /10. I don't think Eze's actually a great left winger. I think he can play a role. And he's a player that we really don't have. And we want to control games. He's got good energy. He's got good energy about him. He can play in the advanced 8. But he's not like Morgan gives White energy, where he's relentless. But Eze gives something that we don't have. And he's a bit of a luxury player, in my opinion. Could do with someone like that in a 10, but I'm sick of playing 10s. The new manager that comes in, I hope don't play 4-2-3-1. I want to see 4-3-3. But that's not going to happen, is it? Because of the bunch of players that we've got. That's why I'm hoping for an Amorim or Thomas Frank. Because I think United should go to 3 at the back. If United went to a 3-4-3 and that was the latest to go further forward, or even 3-5-2 in some instances, Eze would fit in like a glove on that left-hand side. Especially if it is Amorim, he would love Eze. Eze, like sometimes, look, you got to look at Rashford and say, you got to still earn your stripes, you got to earn your spot. Eze on the left, Ahmad on the right, and then whoever's up top, whether it's Xerxes or Højlund, or maybe even Rashford, I'm like flipping out. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Surely. I got a feeling, and again, I'm just going to put it out there, and I don't know how you lot feel about this, but I've got this little England in me. Like, I feel Garnacho is going to leave at the end of next year, I really do. I do think Garnacho leaves. There's something that tells me that he's gonna want to leave, put a transfer request in. I don't think we're going to give him the minutes that he probably wants, and I think he rates himself highly as well. The guy's full of confidence. I like Garnacho a bit. I don't put him on a mad level, because the kid that we saw in the was it the under 21s or under 19s or whoever it was, or under 18s, shall I say? Like, he was killing it. He had that something, but I don't know if he's gonna. I think he leaves. I think he'll go somewhere else. I don't know where though, but I don't think he actually stays at United. And maybe we do need different types of wingers. Having too many types of Marcus Rashfords in the clubs, clearly we need some IQ players. But I like Garnacho. I think he gets judged quite harshly as well. And again, it's under a manager that I don't think is developing him. We've got a situation which Marcus Rashford had, where he had Louis van Gaal developing nicely, and then before you know it, Mourinho comes into the spotlight, and then it decreases. That development stops, and Ollie clearly couldn't develop no one, but he was overusing players to the point he burnt out his back. I don't know, man. If you lot don't want Garnacho, I think if you lot think he's trash, but he's got goals in him. You got to say he's got goals in him, man. And you know what? Goals win you games, as Michael Owen would say on flipping BT Sports back in the day. Them quick lines that he's like, "Oh no shit, Sherlock." But I don't know. I don't know if he really hits the heights. I think he's definitely useful. I think he's in a Martinelli type situation. Which way you gonna go? You got to remember, Garnacho. This is why I don't cuss out youngsters too tough. Like, don't get me wrong. I'll have the joke, but Garnacho's like 20 years old. Why am I going to get onto Garnacho? He frustrates me. Don't get me wrong, but they all frustrate me in that team. All of them do. They need better coaching. This is why I don't want Terzic. Terzic can't coach young players great. And there's actually a bunch of the youngsters at Dortmund that he didn't really get the best out of, that were not thriving in the way he plays. So that's why I don't want him. That's why I rubbish it off. But he's on a free though, so I'm pretty sure INEOS will be looking at that as an option. Yeah, Garnacho's got a mad ego, don't get me wrong, but he's at Man United and he's scoring goals and he's getting a lot of them at the moment for his rate. Of course, he's gonna think he's better than what he is. So, you know what, United BT? I don't know who you are, right? I think you might be a new subscriber. Apologies, but I totally agree with you. United fans do have shiny new toy syndrome. They really do. We do. Like I'll also be. I'll put myself into that category at times. When things are going wrong, you want the shiny new toy to, again, to pull the wool over the eyes, and then of course rate that a little bit better, and then before you know it fails, and then we want to get rid of them. So I'm a culprit of that myself. I'll own up to that. Cole Palmer's not coming to Manchester. The guy's on a 9-year deal. Let that dream go. The only way Cole Palmer comes to United, in my opinion, is if Chelsea either do absolutely shite, or he's just had enough and he puts in a transfer request and it's going to cost us an arm and a leg. And for us to afford that arm and a leg, I'm not going to lie, we're going to have to be winning. And at the moment, we're not winning. But yeah, you make some good points. A lot of you make some nice points in there. I'm actually in agreement with you lot. What subscribers are we on? 894. So if you haven't done so yet, we are now 6 away from 900. That's amazing. I can't believe I've actually sat here talking about United for nearly about 50 minutes. I didn't know I had that in me. And there's 358 of you in here with 195 likes. So 6 subs away from 900 and 5 likes away from 200. Sick. Usually we have to beg for that amount on Never a Foul. We've got the England game coming up as well in about an hour. Hour and a bit. Only Cass talks. Nah. This is just called Cass. Like nothing more as well. It would be nice if there was some more relative news, because then I could do like 2 lives a day. If you lot want me to try up the amount of content on this channel, I could put a poll, I suppose. And I know some of you are going to be shameless, but if you would like that to be the case, then I'll try. But I need football to be engaged again. I need more things to talk about. Like I'm going to make sure with this channel, like usually on Never Foul, we need a couple subjects. You don't really want to make it about one club. It has to be minimum 2. But on here, it's obviously I'll go live about any bits of news and try to go live as soon as I can, really, when it drops. A bit like what a lot of other one club rep channels do. I'm trying to replicate that a little bit. And again, I'll find that kind of stuff when they go live. So big up to Adam Matic. We speak here and there. He's great. Alice Talks Football is the one that actually helped me really give me the courage to go and just do another channel, really. So big up to Alice as well. And then there's obviously Mark Goldfish. Whenever you lot go live, United channels, and I see a bit of news and it drops, I'm going to copy your titles, I'm going to copy your subjects, and I'm going to go talk about it, because that's how I'm getting my engagement. So I don't care. And I'm pretty sure they'll be all right. I'll do it in my own words, obviously, though. Copycat settings, but we all copy each other. That's the reality of YouTube. We all talk about the same things, and we can only talk about the same things because that's the news that's dropped. You see the worst panel on the terrace, sadly. What's that, Skills? What kind of panel are you talking about? Am I doing a watch long? Yeah, on Big Up. On Big Up, me and Dats are going to do that. Again, a lot of you don't want to come over, and I get it. You're in your comfort zones on YouTube. You don't really want to change platforms. You might have your favorites as well at the same time, like who you like to go do watch along. Some of you might not even like to watch people do watch alongs. But again, look, I'll post it in the chat there. If you want to, it's up to you lot, innit? But this is where we will find us doing like United content. So when United play on Brentford, I think it's a Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. You'll find me on there. Also with other teams as well. So if you support Chelsea, Arsenal, again, it'll be there. Right now with England, it's there. It's just a better platform in engagement. And again, a lot of you don't want to jump over, and I understand it. And once you're used to something, you don't want to go on something that doesn't even have an app. It will have an app in December, so it's all Safari. You have to go on your Internet Explorers on your phones and stuff like that. Some of you are in there that do watch it. I'm just explaining it briefly, by the way. I'll go back to your comments in a second. Yeah, that's where it is. It's just a great platform, man. It's proper interactive. You get GIFs on there and all sorts. And there will be an app opening up in 2 months, maybe January. So until then, obviously, there's patience with it. I'll see you lot there when there is an app, because it's easier when there is an app. Like YouTube's an app, right? The sign up is just it's literally just your email, really. You don't even have to use your email. It's just a click. But if you just want to go do it, it's up to you lot. What are you lot saying? Terry's titles are the worst, but this is the thing, right? Like, all right. I don't know if you don't want to ask me this. Big up Samuel, by the way. If you don't want to ask me on the titles, you like for all you guys, when you click on something, I don't know if you're here because you actually just like me as the content creator. You could hear me talk shit all day, but at the end of the day, you want to see what's in the title. You want to see what's being said, right? So I'll go and obviously you have to make the titles relevant. It depends what kind of person you are and how clued up you are. This is nothing new. Why is this all new for people like Terry? Like, you know what? I'll be honest, I'm not in favor of Terry the most. We were civil and that's that. We don't have to act like we're friends because we're not, but he's very, very smart. He does his thing. And the thing is, I hate to say it, let's be real. You lot will still click on it. You'll still click on it at the end of the day. He'll still talk in the way he wants to talk, and he'll push the agendas he wants to push because that's what us content creators do. So with that, he can stay in that lane. I'll stay in this lane, and everybody else can stay in that lane. It's totally up to them. If it's up to you as the viewer if you want to decide it. You lot decide who you lot want to make successful on YouTube. By the way, that's the way it works. You lot have that power, not us, of course, but you lot do. And this is why I don't get onto the chat and I like to regulate the chat because I like it to be nice and friendly as much as possible and not toxic. And the viewers is what matters the most. And when it comes to interaction, this is actually what me and Daps like the most. So what's the big shock? No, it's just the man. Well, if you rewind it, the manager that's revealed who's horrendous. That's one big shock. And Bruno's comments. That's also a big. It's gonna spark something again. Like I said, there was key words in there. If you rewind it, I'll try to add some timestamps in future as well. So you lot know. But I'll try to add some timestamps so I can segment and then you can chop it up in it. Again, shock, keyword. That's also a little bit of a clickbait. There you go. It's not really probably a shock, is it? But we do it. I don't have anything against Terry's titles. I don't really care. I honestly I don't care. Kaz, you should do a show with Lee Gunner. Maybe on Never a Foul. I'll go on his channel. Actually, I spoke to him yesterday as well. So yeah. Take care. See you later. Big up, Letty, man. Enjoy your day. Let me see. We love you for the way you cook that B-Tech Roddy Richmond. Hey, you lot are funny, man. Oh my god, man. You lot are funny, man. I must say. Let me see what you're saying. What did you say? I think Sun Dance Kid, you said something. I can't find your comment. I starred it and I've unstarred it. You said something recently. So if you want to repeat whatever you said, Cash, you should also do. Yeah, Northside does come on, but Northside's over on like it will be on Never a Foul. This channel here will just be me and only me. Dead Week camera at the PL, absolutely. Most people watch that for the personalities. I think so as well. Maradon, Wagwan Cash, this is your own thing you're doing. I see it. Yeah. Literally, this is me. I don't want nobody else. Because if I bring somebody else on here, then I don't really get to talk to you lot. The more guests you have on the show, the less you get to interact with the comments. Don't you dare, Solomon. Don't you dare. That's disgusting. Nah, you keep doing this. 98 subs from 1K. Yeah, big up, man. I'm going to wrap this up in literally a minute. 225 likes as well. Love that. Love that for you. Appreciate that. Will Johnny Middles ever come onto the channel? On Never Found? No. 1, he doesn't respond. 2, he's had a mad case against him. You call it. Rather not. He's a good personality. I don't know how. I don't think I've ever seen them on a panel, and he'll probably get heated, and someone will say something nasty, and then it's just like, there's no point. There's no point. It becomes less about football and more about cussing each other, which is fine to a degree, but you got to stop that, right? So yeah. Watch longs will be better on here. Nah. I'll be real with you. YouTube ain't gonna pay me the way I get paid on Big Up. So there. That Chelsea Nash stream from a month ago, that was a funny stream. You got to remind me about that one. Is it got Jimmy in it? Is it Jimmy in it? No. The Chelsea Civil War one. Yeah, that there. Yeah. That one you're talking about. That was literally last international break, wasn't it? I think that wasn't it. Yeah, man. But yeah, look, big up to everyone. I don't know who's live. I can't redirect yet. I think I need 1,000 subs, so I can't really redirect anyone. But if again, look, if you don't want to sign up, it'll send you emails basically when we go live dead on. We'll be doing England game. Just if you put it there, there you go, man. What's this? Cass, how long have you had your own channel? So I created it last week at some point, like just a show where it's like announcement, and then I've consistently done shows from Monday, I think Monday anyways, Monday to Sunday. I'm trying to get a video out every day, so I might up that to 2 videos a day. Would I take Verts at United all day long? I think he's overrated again, but I would take him. Of course I would. Big up Lars, man. Big up, man. Even though you're a City fan. Big up yourself. Bro, you need the side screen if it's a one man. What do you mean a side screen? As in, like, side or? Terry clipped Sam, who said Cole Palmer's overrated. What? Cole Palmer's overrated? Yeah, nah. Right now, Cole Palmer's one of my favorite players in the Prem, like, to watch. He's just ridiculous. Cass, have you spoken on Bruno? Yeah, I did before. Yeah, literally, I've spoken it about halfway through the show at some point. Again, I haven't done timestamps because I get too carried away, but usually when I have time, when it's on Never Fail, I get to type it, and then whilst people are doing stuff. So I'll try to do that as well, like for the upcoming shows, and get some timestamps out. Yeah. So I might do a recorded video and a live video every day. I might try to do that at least. Anyways, one of each. That way, time is better. And then if it grows, then and people want more and more, then I'll try give that demand in it. But yeah, look, I've gone over the limit of what I'd like. This is only meant to be a half an hour show. This is gonna be the longest show I'm gonna do in a long time. The screen like Alice does. Oh yeah. So Alice has a. So yeah, long story short, again, I'm gonna build it myself where I can put myself in like a frame here, and then obviously the rest of it is there. I'll build something for that so I can share stuff and it looks a little bit more clean. But right now, it's just I'm just trying to talk and just engage. But yeah, no, I hear you. I'll do that for sure. How long will you put up with INEOS? You got to give them a grace period of look. It's not about what I give them because they're not going nowhere. They're here to stay in it at the end of the day. But for me, if I give up, I'll give them a few years. You have to give them a few years. They're not going to get it right straight away. So, a little bit like a news channel, like Bruno's comments. If Bruno's comments was there, I could have showed you lot in a little screen somewhere. Do you know what I mean? So, but I might start doing on OBS. I know OBS like the back of my hand. And that way I can move stuff and it doesn't look stupid or robotic. That way it's just, I don't have to unclick her. If I wanted to go full view and then you see an overlay over me, then it looks dumb because I have to click it off, right? But obviously OBS, you can literally different scenes, you can push yourself there. So it's just there and it's clean in it. So I need to get used to that. And it's better quality as well. So if any of you are watching in 1080 on there, I can push it on 4K if I wanted to, but no point. A call-in show, maybe. I'm not in favor of calling shows too much. Only reason being is because I've seen it on Mark Goldbridge's channel. I've seen it on Saeed's channel. I've seen it quite a few. You get some idiots that you look like they're going to come talk. And even though you're monetized, they want to show their ass off or sort of their private parts or do something that might cause copyright. It's just, this is why not a lot of people do calling shows no more. If there's a point where I see 2,000 people in here and people want to come up and talk and just get to know yada, 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 I'll do it. So, yeah, man. Like, Saeed's been striked before because someone showed their ass on screen. And I'm not being funny. Let's be real. As much as some of you might want to come and call up, as a viewer, do you want to listen to somebody else talk? Because I don't find call-ins do that great numbers. All right, cool. Before I leave, all right, let me check this. England line up. Oh, I better see a team, I better see a good team. If I see fucking Bellingham. No, is this what I have to watch? Is there a better game on? All right, cool. Let me read it before I get stressed. All right, Dean Henderson's in goal. Alexander-Arnold at left back. Stones and Gay at centre back. Walker at right back. He's got Angel Gomez and Rice in DM. He's got Bellingham in the 10. Grealish on the left. Palmer on the right. Kane up front. It's not that bad, but he lost me at Bellingham. Lost me at Bellingham, bro. Dude, there's a 10. Oh. Anyways, it's a wrap. I've got to go do a thumbnail. Again, if you lot want to come and watch over, put in a comment as well that you signed up, etc., etc. Please go do so. It's right there. Look, click on it. Go make a comment, make a profile. Come watch me and Daps. We talk about the same things, yada yada yada. As well. So big up to everyone. I didn't expect so many people on a Sunday as well. So but big up to yourselves. And yeah, man, I'll catch you in the next one. There should be more United news. And if I can't find news, as I say, I'll just go look at Goldbridge's channel and see what he's talking about. So there will always be a show every day in a bit.